one. I can go to 90. My grip one. Okay, close one. Back in 2016 in New York City, I took the postural visual integration course for the first time. And that was probably the second time I had this aha moment, like a huge aha moment. I had a lot of minor aha moments about like left side, right side, adductors, chest wall expansion. Those were all good, but those were all biomechanical. Those were biomechanical ahas about how the body has to cooperate. Right side and left side have to cooperate and relax and activate and alternate those cycles of relaxation and activation in order to move us forward. And I got that. I didn't have all the perfect biomechanics down, but I understood it for the most part. The biggest aha moments, and I think everyone has to have this when they're studying PRI to really understand how this all works. First, you get these things called references: left heel, right arch, left abs, right posterior hip, your butt, left front of the left hip capsule, and the right shoulder blade area. Those are the references. If you can sense and feel those areas of your body, you're going to have the proper muscles turned on and the proper muscles turned off. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel things correctly. So that's when you understand references, that's a pretty big aha moment, because you realize this really is not a muscular and bone issue, it's a brain issue. Because if you can feel your left hamstring simply by feeling your left heel in the proper position, you didn't try to activate your hamstring, it turned on automatically because your brain sensed the ground underneath your left heel, and that's associated with the left hamstring during walking. That's left heel strike. Now you want to pair it with something on the right side, which would be the right glute and the arch of the right foot. So the arch of the right foot pairs with the right glute, with the left heel and the left hamstring, and that's turning your pelvis to the left into the right AIC pattern, into left stance, through the left hamstring and the right glute, as your right arm swings forward, reaching with that right arm, reaching. All of those things your brain is associating with getting off your right leg and getting onto your left leg. So that's all important stuff, and you all have to know it, and this is how you treat people. This is how you work with people. But then I took the postural visual integration course. And that's when I really felt like I get it. I now understand how this whole thing comes together. That you can't change the muscular output unless you change the muscular input. You can't work on a muscle. You can't stretch a muscle to change its behavior. The only way you're going to change a muscle from being overly tense to being relaxed is by getting the brain to understand that it should be relaxed at the appropriate time, and it should be tense at the appropriate time. And it has to relax and unrelax, relax and unrelax, or tighten and untighten, tighten and untighten. It has to contract and uncontract, decontract, contract, and return to normal. Again, you have to alternate those cycles. You can call it whatever you want, but you can't be stuck in one state at all times. Now, the visual system will prevent that process from occurring very, very quickly, instantaneously, as you're going to see in the video, if things are not working properly. And I remember when Ron did a demonstration that he could change someone's PRI tests. He could completely lock someone up or completely relax them, depending on what that person was seeing and sensing in terms of space. And with lenses, you're either compressing space or expanding space. So basically, lenses change space. I know for me, the lens, I believe, expands space. I'm farsighted. For nearsighted people, maybe it contracts space. Can't really tell you. I'm not sure about nearsighted people, whether it's always expanding space or whether it also contracts space, but I'm not an optometrist. I'll have to look that up. But depending on what lens was put over someone's eyes, and they got the big viewfinder thing, and they just place it, and it's just changing that person's perception of space, because our visual system is used to figure out where you are in space. It's not used for seeing clearly as much as it is for detecting where you are in space. That's why peripheral vision is so important. Your brain's occupation, your brain's main goal is to move you forward without bumping into objects and getting hurt. And that's what you need a visual system for, to locate yourself in space. Where am I? Where is that object? How far away? Where is it in relation to me? It's answering all these questions. How do I get there? It's planning paths that your muscles then have to carry out that plan. So your brain is making a plan to get to that object over there, and your muscles carry through with that plan. But the muscles are only doing what the brain tells it. And your brain is telling it to do something, is telling the muscles to do something through the visual input that it's receiving from out there, from space. That's what your eyes are doing. And again, if you say eyes, you're really saying brain. So your brain is detecting things out there. Hey, where is that soccer ball going to land? Let me get to it. Where's that soccer ball in the air so I can head it? It has to do all these calculations. It has to figure out where it's headed and how to get you there. I mean, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. But what if that information is faulty? What happens? You're going to miss. And a lot of people have faulty visual systems. Sometimes it's just clarity. Sometimes they just need glasses because they really can't see clearly and they're being held tense. But sometimes people drop off peripheral vision, particularly on the left side. The brain just stops processing it because they're never using it when they're in this pattern for too long. And sometimes all you got to do is get them on their left side properly in left stance position and have them kind of turn their eyes to the left a little bit and just notice stuff in the left periphery. And all of a sudden they have abduction, their right leg completely abducts. The right QL turns off, they can breathe into their right rib cage, they can feel their left hamstring better, their left glute medius better. It's amazing. The first time I did that with somebody, it was like, it was mind-blowing. I knew it could work, but I didn't know it was going to work. I didn't know it was going to work. Now I know it's going to work. But back then it was mind-blowing when that right leg raised up during the abduction test, an extra 30 to 40 degrees, that before no technique could change it. I was doing right glutes, left adductors, left hamstrings. Nothing was changing until I got this guy to sense his left peripheral vision for 30 seconds while he was breathing in left stance, and all of a sudden his body's completely relaxed. But what you're going to see in this video is a gentleman I worked with yesterday, and I had seen him 2 years ago. I believe it was, or maybe almost 2 years ago, or a year and a half, or a year. I don't remember, but it was a while ago. And there was definitely something weird going on, and he improved. I think I only saw him once or twice. He definitely improved, but he came back to see me, yesterday. And we made a discovery that something is going on with his vision. I don't know what it is, but what you're going to see is I'm going to do some PRI tests. You are going to see his ranges of motion change. Shoulder internal rotation, shoulder horizontal abduction. These are very typical tests. Right leg abduction. The left leg straight leg raise. You'll see the difference. And the adduction drop test, which are all standard PRI tests. You'll see that depending on whether he has both eyes open or one eye closed, the results will be very, very different. And then I will comment again. So first you're going to see it with the two eyes open. He's very restricted. And then when he closes one eye, and it really doesn't matter which eye he closes, when you see one eye closed, you'll see his ranges of motion increase dramatically. So when he has two eyes open, he's locked up. He's tight and tense. When one eye is closed, he relaxes. And I'll comment after the video, so I'm going to let you watch it right now. with 2 eyes open, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now close one eye.
Let me go like this so people know. Can you see that?
Yeah. So, come over the edge of the shoulder horizontal. So both eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now close one eye.
I'll cover the other one too.
Okay. I'm not sure. Well, I'll do this the straight leg raise. So both eyes open. Right up there. Right?
Yeah.
Tight. Okay. Close one. I can go to 90.
I'm curious what happens if I like uncover my eye at that point.
I don't know. I'll do abduction because that changed obviously also. So bring your head here. This side. Okay, relax. So both eyes open. Okay, close one. The only one that didn't change was the adduction. I'll try it now, so let's try it again. So figure it out in case. You can edit this one out. Alright, so it's 2 eyes open. Alright, and then close one. Oh, go lower. I can feel it's clunky though.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. Alright.
I also had surgery on this.
Okay, so what you just saw was, again, with 2 eyes open, he's locked up, tight, restricted, failing his test, his range of motion test. But with 1 eye closed, he's completely relaxed and his range of motion. Nothing was stretched. I mean, there was no editing of that video. And it happened instantaneously because your eyes will overrule anything that's going on down low. Your eyes will lock you up if something's wrong. And again, if I say eyes, think brain. It'll lock you up if something's wrong, or it'll completely let you relax if everything is good. So I don't know what his issue is. I think it would be classified as 2 eyes that aren't working as a team together. So when 2 eyes can't be integrated appropriately with the brain, your brain might get confused and put you where? Into the left AIC, right BC, right TMCC pattern. And I didn't show it because you couldn't see it, but his neck completely loosened up also. So he regained full range of motion in his neck also. So was his pelvis tilting forward, and was he, internally rotating his right ribs, and was his neck going into a forward head posture every single time that he opened his eyes? I don't think so. It was just tension. That those muscles that are associated with the left AIC, right BC, right TMCC patterns turned on immediately the moment he had 2 eyes open. They shut off immediately the moment he closed 1 eye. Everything relaxed. So you got to remember this is about tension. Now the other important thing to remember is that's at rest. He's lying on the table resting. Gravity is not trying to make him fall. Those restrictions, and he used to play a lot of soccer. No wonder he got hurt a lot. Now I don't know how long this has been going on. It could have been an underlying issue, maybe it developed over time more recently. I don't really know. But say that was something that's been going on for a long time, and you see those restrictions are not going away just because he's running and playing soccer. He can't move. So what is he going to do? He's going to compensate. And his front hip had no stability to it, none. it was blown out. I mean, he had a patho front left hip. He's gonna have a tight neck. He's gonna have weird symptoms eventually because of the tension that is in his body to control his body, to stabilize it, when he has a visual system that is not working properly. So he's gonna have to see an optometrist. Hopefully he just needs a prescription. The other thing is he had Lasik surgery a couple of years ago. All bets are off with Lasik because you just changed your eyes surgically. But he knows that his vision got a little bit worse. So maybe, and I know he has an appointment with the optometrist today, maybe he just needs a prescription to get his eyes back to 20/20 and things will start to work out. Otherwise, I really don't know what the issue is. It just seems like his two eyes are not cooperating. And again, that's not an unknown issue in optometry. It's usually, I think it's probably classified as a binocular visual issue. And I have made videos about that with myself. So, because I had my right eye was being overused, my left eye was kind of being ignored. So it's not uncommon, but that's why you kind of need, that's why it's also important to work with someone live, a PRI practitioner in person, because I can't test for that type of stuff. I can have suspicions, and I have caught some things over online stuff, which I'm not doing a lot of right now, but I've caught some of those things online simply because of how people's bodies were reacting. They couldn't feel anything properly. They're not gonna feel muscles properly. They're gonna stay tight. They're gonna feel their back, their neck, their hip flexors. They're just not gonna feel anything properly. And that's where you start to suspect that something might be going on, you know, up top. But the other thing is, the other thing is this. You can get similar results as this when people are converging their vision too much. And I've made some videos about this, about all the up close work that we're doing and narrowing our field of vision. You can get these same types of testing. And again, it's tension, neurological bodily tension being driven by visual inputs that cannot be processed properly. So anyone who's sitting at a computer all day, anyone who is in narrow rooms and narrow space. I have a narrow space issue. I'm going to get to that later on in the future. But the more you look up close at a computer screen, at a phone, the more you converge your eyes, the more tension in your body is going to go up, and those tests are reflecting tension from his visual system. I was just in an optometrist's office the other day, and she has this, this information about nearsightedness, how it's like an epidemic. People are doing so much up-close work that they're dropping off distance vision. They're becoming habitually up-close people. That can produce the same type of tests. So just realize, if you are on a computer all the time, and then you're watching TV, and then you're on your phone, and you are not getting outside, and you are not seeing expansion in space, or you're living in a city, you may be testing the same way as this gentleman, and you may do all the techniques in the world, maybe PRI techniques, and maybe you'll have a little bit of success, but because of that tension is being driven by that narrowness of your field of vision and converging your eyes too much, it's gonna be stop and go. One step forward, two steps back, and it'll make your life miserable. So take care of your eyes. That's the take-home message. Get off your computer screens as much as possible. Get off your smartphones as much as possible. Get outside, exercise, relax your eyes, expand space, do whatever you gotta do, because like I said, you could do all the PRI techniques in the world, and you might have some success, because he did have some resolution of pain a year and a half ago, like plantar fasciitis and a couple other stuff, but his neck is still painful and a couple other things. You might get some results, but if you are staring at a computer screen, if you are walking and staring at a phone, you are not killing yourself, but you are setting yourself up for a world of hurt in a couple of years, especially if you're young. Don't take it for granted. And I'm very passionate about this, and you might see this coming through, because I know what it's like, and you don't want to end up in this position. So if I can save you from what occurred with me and what's occurring with this gentleman here, then I think I have lived a well-lived life. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, please spread it. If you have an optometrist that you're friends with, send it to them. PRI needs optometrists. This has to be, well, we'll say one other thing. If glasses does take care of these tests and he's neutral, he still has to do PRI techniques to reintegrate his vision with upright movement. So glasses, just getting glasses is not treatment, doesn't change a thing. It just gets you relaxed. It doesn't allow you to now move without compensation. You still have to do the PRI techniques now with a system that can relax. So please spread it, like it, comment, share, whatever you can, because this is such a missing link in rehab and physical therapy. No one is checking the visual system. All right, I'm not going to say that because I know someone's going to get mad. Some people, I know some gentleman in Europe is probably checking the visual system, but it has to be integrated with upright movement, non-compensatory movement, which is what PRI is striving to do.